supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
What's going on, Taisha? Welcome back. Welcome to the channel, and happy Mark Essex Day to you.
Yes, happy Mark Essex Day to you as well in this beautiful month of Black August. So thank you for having me back.
For sure, for sure. It is definitely Black August. I started with the Sunday school commercial because this is the type of thing that we talk to the minis about. These are conversations that maybe you're unfamiliar with. Maybe you don't know some people, and they are people that should be talked about, people we should know. But in real time, because of the story and because of who's telling the story, we might kind of shy away from it. And in real time, in our lifetime, we've had people like Mark Essex. And what I mean by that is people who have kind of snapped on enough is enough. And if I'm gonna go, then I'm gonna go the best way possible. I'm gonna take as many with me as I can. So as I said that, I got goosebumps. I really want to give him and you appreciation for bringing this topic to me so that I can talk to the minis about it on Sunday, so that we can talk about it as people existing in the world right now, about our stories. Mark Essex is a Black American, and we have a video that we're going to show you guys, a trailer. If you haven't seen it, we're going to show it in a second. But when you are watching these stories and you're connecting to the person, it's probably because that's familiar to you in here. Your epigenetic memory is starting to take over. And like it's titled, it only takes one. It only takes one. Now, it might not be right now, right? It could be that this one person was an ember, was kind of a coal that was just kind of sitting. It's not on fire, but it's hot enough to start a fire. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly like how the wildfire starts. It starts from one person and their campfire or something. The next thing you know, you got a whole national forest, going.
That's right. And Smokey the Bear always taught us already, at least when we were younger, that we got to put out our forest fires, and we don't want to start forest fires. That's right. Only you can prevent. And then in real time, you got people out here starting fires left and right, and they care not about the environment or the people that are harmed. And I just find that because we are so close to our reparative justice, that it's going to be very important to talk about people like Mark Essex, to talk about the revolutionaries in our community, especially during Black August. That's absolutely the whole reason for the holiday. If you guys aren't familiar, starting in a prison, so, oh shit, that's definitely something niggas don't want to talk about, because we try to stay away from that aspect of life. And then in real time, we're also people who understand that sometimes we get the shit end of the stick. A lot of people that look like us are in there. They didn't do anything. Not to the extent of the time that they're serving or the consequence or the punishment or anything like that. No, you can look like the palm of my hand and steal billions of dollars and get a slap on the wrist. And you can look like me or you and steal some Skittles and be dead.
A child.
I mean, I'm just saying, I know y'all didn't expect me to go there. I'm just saying, it's nothing is equal across any of these environments. But I think that if we pause and we look at our past, and this is not me speaking. Look, I feel like Dr. Winters is channeling through me right now. He talks about the past a lot. Oh shit, all the way free too. He's just right in my head. Looking at the past will help you prepare for the future. And I know a lot of people don't like to look at the past, But a lot of shit we're dealing with right now, quite literally, is some shit that you can go pull from the slave narratives. Baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, slave narrative, niggas. So then if we can do that, then maybe we can do it for the strong things too. You know, they only told us about Harriet Tubman. But do you
Mhm.
know how many conductors of the Underground Railroad there were?
Exactly.
Niggas didn't only go to Philadelphia and Canada. They were going wherever they could go to get away from the enslavement, right? I'm again, salute to you, because I wouldn't have known about Mark Essex if we hadn't talked about him earlier. And I haven't had enough time to do the research that I'd like to do, but from what I've
Mhm.
so far, it's an ancestor that needs some attention. So, uh, as he is your namesake, uh, can you tell me how you even kind of got there? Because I know it's not like a
Yeah.
direct family, but
It's absolutely like it is amazing. I did not know about him until I went to a bookstore in Norfolk, Virginia, the House of Consciousness,
hey,
and I was put on to an author. Her name is Angela Freeman, and like I said before on my channel, I'm an Essex by way of my father's side. That's my father and his family's last name. And once my parents got divorced, my father divorced us. So I really didn't know too much about the Essex side. I just knew that people made fun of my last name, and I was trying to change it the first chance I got. However, when I came across an author, her name was Angela Freeman, and I purchased her books for my son. And Eve, you would love these for Sunday school. And this one's called Sankofa Super Herus. And I'm sorry, my mic, but my camera's right here. And if you look at the cover, this gentleman right here is Mark Essex. He's in his navy dress blues, and he's passing the RBG flag to a young son. And there's a section in here about him, and that's how I found out about Mark Essex. And once I reconnected with my Essex side, I just asked around. They said, if anybody in this country is Black and their last name is Essex, we're related. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. And so that just instilled pride within myself, like, well, okay, I'm not in such a hurry to change my last name. I've been married for quite a while now, and a lot of my stuff still says Taisha Essex, because unbeknown to me, I followed in his footsteps. I joined the Navy, and our ancestor, Mark Essex, to join the military, we all take an oath, a oath of enlistment. And it starts out, I state your name, Taisha Essex, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It goes on, it goes on. I'll have to Google the rest. It's been quite a minute since I recited that. However, Mark Essex, he joined the Navy at a time where this was right after the Port Chicago incident, and not a lot of people know about Port Chicago. I was at active duty. I did not know about Port Chicago until shout out to brother Mad Black here on YouTube. He did a video on the Port Chicago, and YouTube made him take his video down. But there is a movie. There is a movie. Of Port Chicago. It has some of the Black All Stars in it. I highly recommend you go and check it out. I won't spoil it for you, but go check out that movie about the Port Chicago. And they call it an insurrection, but yeah, it's very important, especially those who are sending their children into the military, especially the Navy. Learn about Port Chicago. But this was a time when Mark Essex joined, and he also served, right around the time of Vietnam. So, he experienced racism, discrimination, and it pushed him to where he wanted to uphold the oath that he took to support the Constitution. And those who are new to my channel, who just subscribed from my last two videos, we've been talking about how our constitutional rights as Americans are violated. And I choose to celebrate Mark Essex despite of what mainstream or other outlets want you to think of him, because each time I cut on like a military warfare channel or American history channel, I'm seeing stuff about Hitler and other non-black on that station when I attend trainings. I'm constantly being bombarded with information on how Hitler was such a charismatic speaker and all this stuff is, mentioned with him. There was something I watched earlier, I think it was on PBS, and I can link that in the description where they mentioned Hitler, Gandhi, and Martin Luther King in the same sentence. And I'm
Oh
like, where do
no.
you get that from? So it is important that we share the narratives of our freedom fighters, our great ancestors, our historical figures, ourselves, and not have it to where we're celebrating Columbus Day and observing those who owned Black Americans,
Right.
So yeah, today is Mark Essex's birthday, August 12th, 1949 to January 7th, 1973. He's mentioned in a few different books. He's known as the Hojo sniper, the Howard Johnson sniper, the New Orleans sniper. And I hope that he forgives me because I forgot to go and revisit some of these locations when I was in New Orleans for the first time. I totally forgot. But if you're in the area around Emporia, Kansas, you can show respect. That is his final resting place, as well as if you're in New Orleans and wanted to document a couple of things, go right ahead. But this month is absolutely important for us. It started off August 1st. I believe the first is Garvey's birthday. Don't get me if I'm wrong, but then it led us up to there's a lot of key dates this month. Of course, we had our great celebration of the Harriet insurrection in Montgomery, Alabama on the 5th. Of course, this is the month where Nat Turner's rebellion happened as well this month. So this is a very powerful month. And
Absolutely.
I'm just grateful to be here to discuss Mark Essex. He's not a fictional character. He's not made up in Hollywood, but he walked this earth and he definitely made a difference.
Absolutely powerful what
Thank
you
you.
just said.
817. Thank you.
And look, here's the thing about our story versus their stories. In real time, when Wakanda forever, right? Y'all niggas was so excited about a Marvel character, about these fake characters, and in your actual story, in your actual lineages, you are a descendant from some pretty fucking cool ass people. And no, I don't mean that all of us have, we ain't all kings and queens. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that, you're, some of y'all's grandfathers and grandmothers made inventions that will never see the light of day, but it made their life a lot easier where they were. I want to say that
And a lot of them are not even still properly compensated because, it was taken and this company now owns it and they're getting the royalties and selling it time and time again.
I just this is kind of related to this, but not really. I just learned about this restaurant in Jersey that the family used to own it, and now these Koreans bought it and they reopened it with the same name. So the community thinks that it's the Black families, but it's not. And then the Black family can't do anything because who thinks to fucking trademark and patent your name? But
Yep.
I think if Famous Amos had,
Yeah,
there are
famous
some
Amos.
there
Yep.
are some instances where, if you've got something, I think we talked about you earlier today. How the fuck is somebody already on these platforms as Taisha Essex? That's not you. If it's like people are just stealing shit left and right and just hoping that nobody pays attention to who is doing what. And
Especially when the whole like YouTube handles had came out, like
Mhm,
Timonics is trademarked. I
mhm,
own the trademark to that, but however, when the handles came out, it's now like it was started out as like Timonics hyphen 8916. I'm like, what the hell?
mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. But hey, we know the originals. We protect our brand. Although I'm not in the e-commerce game right now, but I still own my intellectual property behind that.
very cool. And that's it's very important. Before I clip to the trailer that we're gonna review real quick, on your screen is the book that Taisha was just talking about. You can get it on Amazon. I'm going to go to HOK probably tomorrow or this week when I go to school and see if they have that there, and definitely check out some more, books for Sunday school. I
And this
love
is
that.
volume 2. There's also
Right.
volume 1. I have that over there. Another great one is Insurrection. She has a couple of great books. There's also a book that I reviewed on my channel before. It's called God's Gift: How to Be a Great Black Woman to a Great Black Man. And
Ooh,
yes, that's my
love
book.
that.
I think I have that somewhere over there. But yeah, I am a nerd. If I was to show my camera, that's not even a fraction of all the books that I have.
No, nerd,
Yes.
schmerd. In
Yes,
real
blurs,
time, people are,
blurs.
I'll take the nigga nerds and the blurs that know the difference between Pacific and specific, or just there and there, or two and two. I
I
just,
couldn't care less. I could care less.
for all intensive purposes,
I did a whole 360
you're back at the same spot.
back at
Okay.
one.
All right, let me stop. There's a movie. We are going to show you guys this trailer. It is a movie that either is coming out this year or came out this year.
I think it's
about to
coming
come
out on Netflix pretty soon. I
Yes,
think it's
on
like at the end of the
Netflix.
month or something like that.
And I had it up. I swear I had it up, but I think I have it now. It's here. Okay, pause. Now, I have some issues here, but let's just see where it goes. I don't want you guys to ever be biased about anything that I'm going to show you on my channel, as much as I just want you to have your own thoughts. Like, if I already have thoughts and then I start telling you them, then you guys might be like, oh yeah, I feel like how you. No, let's blank look at this together and see if we come to the same conclusion on Mark Essex Day. And if you can't hear it, Taisha, yeah, let me know. But I think
Okay.
I think we got it. I think I've got it working. Let's see. All right. So, Rebel Ridge coming to your Netflixes this fall. No, we're not getting paid by Netflix.
No, not at all.
No. And you can like the trailer or not like the trailer. I have feelings about the trailer. I wonder.
I think we're going to be like-minded on this. I really do. We have not discussed this. We have not talked
We
about
haven't.
this. There's
this
this
is
trailer
great.
that came out, Rebel Ridge. Tongue twister. Rebel Ridge. And yeah, so that's all we had.
All we had. And then from there, we did talk about Mark Essex. This is just an aside for you guys in the chat. This was a kind of like a first watch for both of us, because wow, what a scene, right? In a time when you can't actually harm white people on camera, right? Because I remember Tariq was talking about his documentary, talking about things that actually happened in real time.
1804.
And he was getting all sorts of pushback from, production companies and editing companies about the violence of it all. And then I think about, did you see the movie Emancipation with Will Smith?
I did not.
It's a good movie, right?
Okay.
But my issue with it is that he has this French, Haitian, Creole accent. And not like Creole is not a Black American thing, but they didn't emphasize Creole at all. I'm putting that there. He sounded like a French immigrant or a Haitian. And I just so confused about why Will decided that this was the voice he was going to go for. And then I thought about it, and it's like, white people don't like when we're fucking them up, right? So then the movie is about him getting back to his family by any means necessary, and not like how it normally happens. Yeah, people die. Yeah, it's sad stuff, but it's very powerful. And I'm not trying to spoil it, but it's not what we're used to, because we're used to like a white savior or a white co-pilot or a tag team partner, or the Black person that's the main character has to give off something else, right? And then it's acceptable. Did you see what was that show? It was a show with Journey. Juicy's
Underground.
Yeah.
Underground. Yeah.
Underground. I liked that show a lot. Too. And then as soon as
it was filmed right here in Georgia,
they took shit off the air. It was like, hold up. I'm really feeling it now. And then they took it off
Yes.
the air. There's another show with Journey, like a comic book type show. Damn, what was that show called?
Um,
Um,
shoot.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Lovecraft Country.
Thank you.
Lovecraft
Lovecraft
Country. Yep.
Country. And I was feeling that
That
show
first
up
episode about
until,
the sundown town,
yeah,
yes, that's what got because I had did a video about sundown towns. Never kept saying Lovecraft Country sent me here, and I thought it was another YouTuber. I said, "Well, tell them I said thank you." So I went to go look for it, and that was the episode. I'm like, "Whoa, I am glued." I'm stuck. So yeah.
but then if you haven't seen Lovecraft Country, the main character got a little something extra on him, and
Oh
then
yeah, it was some scenes in there. Yeah, I was like,
like,
yeah.
yeah, y'all had to give him something else for it to be acceptable or palatable or whatever, because clearly you can't be a regular thinking Negro and decide to fight back against
Mhm.
oppression or tyranny. No, no. But let's talk about Rebel Ridge. That's the one we just showed them.
Rebel Ridge.
How do you feel
I'm gonna
about
go
that?
ahead and I think the obvious, I'm gonna leave that to you because I think I know what you're gonna say, but Rebel Ridge, when you look at the trailer, the first name that pops up and you go look at that first name, it's like, this is why this movie won't get the birth of a nation treatment. Because the first name you saw on that one was Virginia's finest, Nate Parker. So
Right.
yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I'll leave that one there, you know.
No, that's exactly right.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what I did. I had to. The main character of the scene and I guess of the movie is Terry Richmond. That's his name in the movie. Aaron Pierre is his real name, right?
Yep.
And Aaron Pierre is this. Here we go.
He's from across the pond.
He is from across the pond. Yeah, it's this
My
pretty
last name is
actor
Essex,
right
so
here.
across the pond.
This is Aaron, right? And yeah, he's so masculine and stuff, right? Like that's
Oh, he got
exactly the
pretty
person.
eyes.
Yeah,
Oh, he
he's
got
a
the
pretty
pretty
eye
eyes.
motherfucker. Yeah, pretty eyes, light skin. Oh yeah, this is the nigga that we wanted for this film, right? And I am going to probably not make any friends with the things that I have to say about this, but if it is an American problem or something that America's dealing with, I find that the story is a little stronger when Americans are telling it. Not that it can't be told by someone else, but this fight that we've had with tyranny, oppression, racism, white
Mhm.
supremacy, that's something that we've always been fighting. So
Yes.
to take someone from not here and then give them the role, that it almost sounds CRT to me, this critical
Yes.
race theory. Because
Mhm.
inside of critical race theory, well, is it real? Are you guys really having issues, or is it just how you feel? And it's like, well, I can't say CRT. I don't support CRT because racism, white supremacy is not a theory. I can give you evidence of
Mhm.
the trauma. We're not in theory land no more. So, Hollywood does that thing where, well, we're going to make it Hollywood. We're going to make it's just a movie. It's just a Netflix. And then people take away entertainment and not
Mhm.
documenting, because art can
Right.
be a tool to use for learning purposes, and maybe some Easter eggs are dropped in this film. But for what it's worth, like you said, not going to get the Nate Parker treatment because not Nate Parker. Not saying that this guy isn't a good actor. I don't know what else I've seen him in. He got a familiar face.
Well, I'm here in Georgia where a lot of films and TV shows are made right here in Georgia. So I recall recently there was a casting call here in Macon for I forget which streaming service, but they were doing something about Dr. King and Malcolm X, peace be upon him. And I went to go look it up, like, okay, who's in this? Do I want to go and take off a couple of days of work and go be an extra? And I remember seeing this brother, and I'm like, a UK Malcolm X? And I'm like, and I recall what Professor Black Truth and Tariq said, when we have Black American actors portraying our historical figures here on this soil. There is a spiritual connection
Mhm.
that cannot be crafted. You cannot learn this in an acting class, but it's something about how Nate Parker portraying Nat Turner right there, on the lands in Virginia. I did the Nat Turner tour. I did that tour. I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. There's a connection, and he had that. I don't think that can come across in this film. And although it's not taking what Mark Essex did, it's kind of a play on and my husband and I, he just put me on and we watched it the other night. Sylvester Stallone in First Blood. I hadn't seen it until the other night. I'm like, oh, okay. So when I saw First Blood, I'm like, okay, so here's another fictional character just recycled and put in today's time to kind of play on what's happening in real life. But yeah, I was like, okay, we got the UK Malcolm X, portraying what we're experiencing as Black Americans and been experiencing since the slave patrol.
For
So I'm
sure.
like, this ain't gonna cut it. I mean, yeah, it's cool to see, a Black person. Well, if he's anything like Idris Alba or Elba, he's not a Black actor. He's, you know, I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's gonna sell. Yeah, it's cool. It'll feel good, like to see that, or hey, I live vicariously through this character, but I don't think that connection is gonna be there. And the one thing that I don't want is for, you know, those who have fought against corrupt police. Shout out to retired Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey in her term, contempt of cop, such as Micah Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Essex, Chris Dorner,
Yes.
who fought against it. So I don't want them who were actual living, breathing to be forgotten about. And this character becomes the new all in all.
Absolutely. We can't I never want us to Wakandize our story. We don't have
Right.
to, especially Black America. Now you can go and say, Eve, you were talking about looking at the past. Fine. Melanated beings across the planet have stories from the land that they're on, from the land that they're from, that you don't have to make up a hero. You got somebody who's done some things. Now, you might not know about them because of the power structure, the dominant society not telling you about some things, but this movie, it's almost it's reflective of that, because if we never said anything about it, right, and then it comes out, then what will happen is, if it flops, people will say, okay, well, I can't make a movie like that because it's not going to do well. And
When we
context is this.
do, and when you do, you get the Nate Turner, I'm sorry, the Nate Parker treatment,
Right.
because stuff that wasn't even relevant, foreshadowed and just was just unnecessary
Right.
with his great film. Like he took the name of the first film that, had the Klan and how it you know radicalized them to come against Black people during that time, and that was like the blueprint. He took it, after the copyright on that name expired, and turned it into this for the next 100 years. That was brilliant.
It was. And his that people are people, right? You guys, y'all like to, it's not the messenger, it's the message. Me to death. Right? So let's just all understand that people are people, and we're not casting stones in glass houses type shit. Now, inside of that, it's a gnat or a mosquito. Inside of that,
But
there
what
are
did
real people that
yeah.
need some respect put on their names,
Mhm.
because the ability to take the power like that, that's not what the dominant power, they don't want that type of shit to happen. So a movie like this to come out where it's not a Black American
And
on
it wasn't even,
screen.
it wasn't a film written by a Black
Right.
American. His name
Right.
Jeremy Saulnier, if I'm
Mhm.
pronouncing that correct.
Mhm.
No.
the writer, the actor, they put this spin on it because they don't want us to attach to it. And you niggas will not attach to it because it's not us. But then you won't say anything. And then it's benign neglect the opposite way. I'm right now in 2024, I'm of a belief that not saying something is as wrong as doing something that is wrong. Because if you're going to sit here and bystand, I can't take that anymore. Not after George Floyd and we saw all those witnesses standing around not doing anything. And I get it, who knows what you would do in the heat of the moment or whatever. But then I heard Governor Walz say that Minnesota's rule is to mind your damn business. So I understand why those people were just standing around. Like, this has been ingrained in them that, yeah, fucked up shit happens and can't do anything about it. No, there was enough people to have done something. I mean, I keep thinking, like, if I had just gone to the convenience store and bought a loaf of bread and just start throwing bread at the officers, like, that wouldn't have done anything, but it would have done something. It would have been like, what the fuck are you doing throwing bread? Who knows? They throw tomatoes, right? People throw food when they are disappointed at things, and it's not I'm gonna lose my life over this. And then if you do, shit, be a martyr. You only die once. And y'all want to make it to fat, old, and happy when we could be free. Now, if people just stop waiting for someone else. So Mark Essex, look, this is how the dominant society portrays Mr. Essex. This is on murderpedia.org. They classify him as a spree killer, a racist sniper. And then from there, it says, this is his story. He left the Navy because he thought the white man did not care about his problems. He moved to New Orleans where he brooded over racism a little too long. Flash forward to January 1973. He stormed into a Howard Johnson's motel with his rifle, and a black maid spots him, but he reassures her, don't worry, we're not killing blacks today, just whites. The revolution is here. With that, he torches the drapes of his rooms and starts shooting at all the white folk, right? This is how Murderpedia is describing Mr. Essex. And I'm sorry, I don't see anything wrong outside of them just trying to paint him as a bad guy.
But they failed to mention what was happening in New Orleans, in 1972 and 1971 that, showed that, he was still serving his country. He was serving the country, supporting and defending the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And one thing that is quite common that we see is Fourth Amendment violations, Fifth Amendment violations, First Amendment violations, Second Amendment violations, and keep on naming them, So we just can't let outsiders give us our heroes and tell us how we should think of them, And speaking of another warrior, another one of our superheroes who's still living, standing, breathing, stronger than ever, shout out Y2 Kenyon, is Brother Otha Wallace.
That's right.
So I'm going to make it my goal for this month to also support him as well, because his rights were violated right then and there. And he had the warrior spirit in him of Mark Essex, and did what needed to be done. He had a right to protect himself against a domestic terrorist.
And that's the thing, when Black people say enough is enough, it's really up to the community, to the people, to stand on that with them. Because when we start doing he shouldn't have done that, or what you hear about Sonia Massey, because she's not this, but in the same breath, they will say, well, she shouldn't have thrown water at the police officer. Okay.
No. I'm going to talk about that. Like I said, shout out to all of the new subscribers. And actually, it gave me a direction on my channel on where I should go. I should have taken this position when I did the video about and sharing brother Othel Wallace story. I should have continued on that path, but me, I'm a Sagittarius. My mind is all over the place. I want to vlog, I want to cook, I want to sing, I want to do this. So, but my direction right now is to use my knowledge, my expertise, and my training, and my continued commitment to serve our country, to serve our people, and support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will continue to do that. So I'm going to speak more about Sonia Massey and her tragic life's ending. I'm going to talk some more about that. I'll have that video coming up within the next couple of days because we need to stay on this. There's also another story. I was flipping through the channels and I saw on Court TV. There was a story, I forget, but there was an elderly white woman. She shot a black man, and that case is playing out right now. I'm watching that. I forget the name, but I will link it later. But we need to pay attention to these things and stay on them. But also, just know that these are not isolated incidents. These events are occurring, and none of us are exempt from it. I try not to, we do not dial 911 or as much as we can to bring them over here. We had to go and file a police report. We went to the police station. We're like, we're going to go there and just filled out. But, I could have been the next Sonia Massey, any of those times that I call for help. It could have been any of us, so we just cannot stand by idle and, just tune out. We can't tune out, we can't.
No, I mean, people do all the time. And I call those people soft targets. If you're existing in 2024 and you only know that the grocery store you go to has the entrance that you walked in, then what are we doing? You guys, we have to be more aware of our surroundings because look, Mark Essex said that he was only going to kill the whites, right? But the same way that there are casualties of war, you need to pay attention because
and once again, no to the YouTube robots and moderators and y'all, we're not condoning violence or telling people to go do anything or we're not doing any of that.
We're telling them to pay attention to their surroundings because if someone starts shooting, even if they're not shooting at you, your ass could still get shot.
Situational awareness.
It's crazy that we are existing in a time where people say that there's no more racism, knowing full damn well that that's a lie, saying that Black Americans need to do more for anybody when we're having a hard enough time keeping shit where it's supposed to be, like the stuff that's already where it's at, keeping that stuff home. So, when movies like Rebel Ridge come out, it's an opportunity for us to just kind of refocus. Yes, that's a cool symbol, but
entertainment purposes only.
Right. And that's exactly what that is. And if y'all leave it there, that's not enough because you are shitting on your ancestor story. The fact that we don't know how many uprisings happened because niggas didn't talk so much. Like if you got back at your enslavers via glass in their food, and then everybody in the house just happens to die, and then you happen to find your way to the Dismal Swamp. I mean, there are so many stories. Y'all act like you don't know that you have people in your family. Oh, we used to live in the South, and then I don't know what happened. Now we live in Chicago. And it's like, I think if you start asking some questions, you might find out that maybe somebody handled some business. And it was time to go. And instead of sit there and, be judged by 12, I'm not being carried by 6. I'm going to carry my ass to my cousins over here. We're going to do the things. But
yeah, I asked that question once, I connected with that side of family. And there's a reason why, some of us are ESSEX. Some of us are ESSIX. Some of us are ESSICKS, or CS. There's a reason, and it's exactly what you said.
Definitely. So, tonight we weren't going to talk y'all's heads off, but we did. I did. She did. We wanted to give some appreciation to the few: Mark Essex, Micah Johnson,
Othel Wallace.
Otha Wallace, and to our baby Micah,
And
who
Micah.
was
Yep.
named after Micah Johnson. Look, that baby couldn't even get out the damn diapers before they took him out.
Ogun
So,
spirit. Heart
you
is with
have
you.
to know these things. And if you don't know these things, I'm happy to have a voice to give you with some of these stories, and then do your own research. In real time, I've had students tell me that because the textbook says that Gabriel Prosser was a terrorist, we should think of him
Wow.
like a terrorist. And it's like, I feel you, but if you think about what he was fighting against or what he tried to fight against, and this is one of the ones they tell us about.
Right
So
there
can
in
you
Virginia.
imagine? It's so much we don't know and so much we do know, but we're not taking the time to pause and appreciate it. So again, one more time before we close this out. Happy birthday to you, Mark Essex. Thank you for your sacrifice, because damn, enough is enough. And for them people to write about you this way, they were
Right.
afraid of you and they didn't want us to know about you, because you can't say that living in a time of super segregation, discrimination, and crazy shit happening to us on the street, like more than it's happening right now, that someone can just snap. No, you didn't snap. You didn't
This was
fucking
building up.
snap. This
He's
was
been going through some stuff. I mean, to imagine California of all places, like I said, because our history is hidden from us. Shout out Mad Black and the film. I believe, I think, I don't want to say Cuba Gooding Jr., but there's some Black all stars in it. So you got to check out the Poor Chicago film, and
yes.
then
I think that's called Mutiny.
Mutiny, that's it, Mutiny. And Mad Black, for his video that got his channel taken down off of YouTube because of that video and something else. These are things that they want hidden and that we're not supposed to know. How is it that I went, active duty, reserve time, and had no clue that this even happened? But yet, while I was active duty, I'm fighting for these same things.
Right.
And California, you would think California is safe. It's not like Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Florida. No, it's California. And that's how I got a surprise of a lifetime when I'm up far north in the butt crack of the country, the Pacific Northwest is what I call it. And I'm experiencing all kinds of discrimination and racism, sexism up there in Washington. So it's like, when you know your history, you are better prepared to go into any situation.
That's right. That's right. You guys do your lineages, talk to your people. I promise you got a story that you need to know. It might not be a story that everybody needs to know, but you need to know it, because like Taisha said, Mark being in the Navy, her being in the Navy, sometimes we are living out our ancestors' dreams. They're just not here to do it themselves. So we get tapped. Eve, it's time to move to Virginia. For what? Virginia? No, I love it here, and
We
I've
both
learned
ended
so
up
much.
there, like out of anywhere. I happened to like, why am I going here? And come to find out, even after I've moved away, I continue to come back for Nat Turner Trail Tour in Southampton County, Gabriel Prosser, the Contrabands of War at Fort Monroe in Hampton. It's like it's so much. It's so much. And it just we are a wonderful people, and we've been the underdog for so long, but now we have to flip that and just live in greatness. And
Right.
it doesn't mean, and that's the thing, it doesn't mean hating anybody else, because historically and by our circumstance, we cannot do that. We cannot do that. We have in history, we have not taken anyone's rights away. We have not burnt down anybody's cities. When things happen, there may be a riot or something like that, but no, we have not strategically held anyone down and taken and stripped them of their power to maintain ours. No. So we can Mark Essex and racist does not belong in the same sentence.
No. No, we can use the dictionary. We can have prejudice, we can have discrimination, we can be bigots, but you will not sit here and tell me that a man who was dealing with the shit that y'all put him through is a racist. No, he just said enough was enough. You can't just keep treating us like this. And if the only way you're going to listen to me is if I make sure that I take some of y'all with me, then, and for what it's worth, they listened because they labeled him all sorts of nasty names. That's how you know something is afoot. And once you dive down that rabbit hole, I'm trying to tell y'all have stories in your family of things that you knew, you just didn't know. It's there. It's inside. And once we get really comfortable with, our family story, then we'll start to emulate it. You can only go but so long knowing the truth without it affecting how you live. And yeah, maybe some of y'all spaz out and glitch out. And I'm not talking about in Mr. Essex way. I'm talking about you are their favorite tool. And then you get broken because shit, you start talking back. You get a little spicy for them people, and then you don't know what to do. But
And the
you
thing
find
is,
that that's you.
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm from Cincinnati, and it was crazy because a few people I know who graduated from the University of Cincinnati, they wanted to burn their degrees because their degrees was from what was his name? McMicken Hall. And I think his first name was like Robert McMicken or something like that. But he was an absolute racist. He owned slaves and they had his name on a couple of buildings there on the University of Cincinnati. And they're like, well, he owned slaves, but my degree says this. And then also, there's Marge Schott Field. Marge Schott was known as a racist. She owned the Reds. I think she came out with the saying like, like $1 million in words or something like that. I could be misquoting her, but yeah, she said stuff like that. But yet they had a whole stadium named after her, a field. Yeah, this stuff is out there. So they're the true racists, they get halls named after them, endowment funds and all types of stuff. But when we make a YouTube video or something about ours, it's like, okay, demonetize, you shut that down. You're on that woke stuff. It's crazy. But
Absolutely.
I've been called those names as well. I had to exist up there in Washington where I'm seeing the Nordic identity extremists, and they were stalking my social media, keeping tabs on me. And yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, so you will not shut me up, and that's just it. You have to be brave and you have to be unapologetic with it.
That's right. You have to be, because I promise it's more people waiting to be around. You'll hear people say, "Ah, they didn't try me. They know who to try." They do know who to try, and they know who not to try. And inside of that, I know some of y'all are very, very, very excited to be that person that they try. And I promise you that aura is written all over your face. They're not going to try you. No, they're going to go to school because you made them mad, walking around all big and bad, like, I wish they would try. No, and then they go shoot up a school or a church because those people are not as
Charleston.
aware. Absolutely. So as we pay homage, especially this Black August, and in general, as we're learning about who we are as a people, don't forget that it could just be one thing that you did that will spark that ember for someone else. And learning about Mr. Essex's story, it just reminds me that we only die once, and you can get old and become an older and then have the youth looking at you like, why are we still fighting this fight? Or you can get your angel wings whenever it's time for, you're gonna die when you're gonna die. I hate this conversation because it always ends here. Eve, you're so dark. You're talking about death. No, 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 no. If I can walk out my door and get murdered and become a hashtag, what are we waiting for? Really? And when I say what are we waiting for, I mean, when you guys are in the midst of some fuckery, what are you waiting for? And if you're afraid, then maybe you shouldn't be so loud about the things that bother you, because it seems like you don't really have any issue. Or you do like any of the people we've named and just go all out. Because I promise, we will remember you. We find out about you, we're going to put the respect on your name, and we're going to make sure that people know about you. And to Ozone, look, man, I'm happy you still here for us to fight for you. So it's a fucked up situation, but God damn it, it could have been way worse if
Be
you
like ozone,
hadn't
live
done what
to
you were
talk
gonna
about
do.
it, live to see another day.
That's right.
Live.
Right. You got any final remarks before we close it out?
I just want to say thank you so much. I know our ancestor is smiling on us because that is a goal. Like once my days are no more in this body, I do not want to be forgotten. And for us to remember him, what has been 40 plus years, since he became a ancestor, and we're still talking about him. This is amazing. And I hope that that's me as well. So thank you for this opportunity to come here, and shout out to everybody who's watching live and who will watch the replay. So thank you.
That's for sure. Thank you for the information. And, y'all can always tell me about people that I don't know. I'm just Eve. I don't try to act like I know everything. I don't know everything. And I very much am excited about learning about us. I can learn about everybody else, and they're so proud to tell us about them, right? But it's always some antiquated person, right? Some 1,000 years ago, King Tutankhamun, or we talking about Shaka Zulu, or
Mansa Musa.
right, Mansa Can Musa. Y'all niggas don't even know that man's name, but you want to tell me about Mansa? And not you, Taisha. I'm just saying in general. Yeah, it's so all over the place. So I'm happy we can do this, and we will continue to do this. So if y'all liked
Absolutely.
it, hit the like, hit the bell on either one of these channels, and you might be notified next time we go live. Thank y'all.